What's good, y'all? It's Icon here talking a little Titans, episode 12. Yeah, one more to go. This one's entitled Faux-Hawk. The episode starts with with Slade. They take us back to the church where it shows the aftermath of the fight between Dick and Slade. And right before Slade, after Slade kills Jericho or whatever, it shows Jericho actually taking his consciousness and putting it into Slade's body. They do a scene where it actually shows the two of them in Slade's mind together. They're sitting in this living room, and he's and Jericho's just I've been trapped in here for 5 years, and then Slade's just well, it was your decision to do that, and he was because I thought you would save me, but you're a murderer. And then he's no, I'm your father, and he's you're a murderer. And then Jericho, he's been trying to take over Slade's body. He tries to have Slade run through traffic and it doesn't work. And then he tells him, he's eventually I'm gonna get out of here, you son of a bitch. So Jericho's in there, Jericho's alive, and he exists within Slade's body. After that, then it shows this is broken up into pieces with all the characters. It takes us to Gar, where Gar is walking around in normal society, and he goes to the coffee shop that we saw in the first episode of the season, and the Black Mercy, she's there, and she because they got the chip in Gar's brain, so they play the classical music to have him activate his powers, and then Gar goes crazy and basically kills everybody at at the coffee shop. So this was Mercy's way of just playing around with Gar, because she's trying to test the weapon that she's created. And I don't know why the coffee shop. I guess maybe because it was familiar to Gar, so she's sending Gar to familiar places to see if his brain will reject it based on emotional things that he recognizes. Rachel and Corey went after Dick. They found out that Dick wasn't there. He had escaped the prison. He told them Jericho was alive. They're headed back to San Francisco. Corey's pissed because she's still mad that her powers aren't working. She tells Rachel, she's listen, we're going back to San Francisco, because she got a text from Donna. And then Rachel's no, we have to find Dick. And then she's screw Dick Grayson. And then the two of them get into a fight. They get into an argument. Rachel's well, screw you, you alien bitch. And then Corey's all well, screw you too, witch girl, and your stupid witch powers, you emotion. And so then they get to, it was so unnecessary. The whole point of them getting into that fight was just to have them in the episode. That was so unnecessary. The only part of it that kind of made sense was when Rachel was just you're pulling the adult card, because when Corey was yo, we're going back, she was just so I don't have a say in it because I'm a kid. And then Corey was you goddamn right, you don't have a say in it. And then she was just how you gonna pull the adult card on me? But it's but it's true. I agree in that regard, because their whole purpose was to Dawn and Donna told her flat out, Dick can take care of himself. They went to the prison. Dick was gone. He wrote something on the wall. Dick broke himself out of the prison. So for Rachel, it's yes, he can take care of himself. You don't have to, you didn't have to break him out. So they apologized to each other, and then they're just fine, let's go back to San Francisco. And the two of them are headed back to San Francisco. The two D's, Dawn and Donna, they roll up on one of the guys from Cadmus, who had helped kidnap Gar, because they said that they looked at the Titan security footage, they saw that dude's face. So they roll up on him, they get the information, they're just the guy spills the beans on on everything, and now the two of them know shit, we gotta fight Cadmus. So Don's you know what, since the other girls are gone, Dick's MIA, she's Superboy and Beast Boy are captured. And then Dawn's fuck Hank. That son of a bitch left me. And then she's I know, but Hank's the best. And then she's I got your best right here. And then the two of them agree that they're gonna do a dolo. And then they break out. Now with Hank, because we saw him 2 episodes ago, he was in a bar. Hank basically reverted back to drugs and alcohol and cage fighting. He's doing underground. It's funny because we just saw underground cage fighting on Arrow. He's doing underground cage fighting. He's known as the leader of the Titans, and he's going around kicking ass and taking names. He's basically fighting for money. He's fighting. He's doing. It's a way to mask his pain between that, in the drugs, whatever. The underground cage fighting. He was so he ended up taking this chick home, and then apparently while he before he took this girl home, he walked up to some kid And he asked the kid, because he was, because again, like, he's high on like drugs and shit. He asked the kid, he was like, yo, I'll give you my Hawk suit for like $200. Because he was trying to get some blow, as the kids say. So the kid, the kid paid the $200. He gave him the costume. Hank went back, took the woman back to his house. Then when he woke up sober the next morning, he saw that the kid had put his suit on and was running around the city beating up people on behalf of Hawk. So Hank goes and chases him down. He finds where the kid lives, punches him in the face. And he's like, you stole my suit, you son of a bitch. And then the kid's like, nah, man, you sold it to me. And then that's when Hank hit rock bottom, because he was like, listen, because the kid told him, he was like, look, it was an honor to wear the Hawk costume. It was an honor to pretend to be a Titan for one day. And then, then after that, Hank started reflecting on what he's been doing with his life, like the drugs and the cage fighting, whatever. And then, he felt bad. He went back to his hotel. And then he was just like, yo, I gotta do something, because he's basically like, his life's turned to shit, and that kid just opened his eyes to what he should really be doing. So then after that, and this is the part of the episode that actually got to me a little bit, because they show Dick. He ends up going back to Jericho's mom's house, and the two of them had a conversation, and she was just like, oh, my son. My son's in there, and Mr. Grayson, you're supposed to be able to do unspeakable things, and I want you to get my son back. And he's like, I'll get your son back. And then Dick goes to like this shoe shop, and then he says to the guy, and this is a very funny scene. He says to the guy, he's like, hey, I need shoes. And the guy's like, I don't make shoes anymore. I make cake now. And then Dick's like, all right, I want some cake. And then he was just like, oh, you want cake? And then the guy takes a blowtorch, lights the cake on fire. He's like, is this how you like your cake, you bastard? And then Dick was like, I apologize for burning your suit. Because the guy that he talked to, he's the guy that makes all the suits, for the Bat family. Like, he probably created all the Titan suits. So... And he was mad because he found out that Dick burnt the Robin suit. And then, then Dick apologized. He goes downstairs. This other scientist woman, she shows up. She's like, oh, you burned the suit, you dramatic bastard. And then he's like, I'm sorry, I burned the suit. Jeez. And then he's like, I need a new suit. And then the guy was like, yes, Master Wayne said you'd be coming. So all them people downstairs know Bruce Wayne is Batman. Okay. So he goes downstairs, and they're just like, we got this new fiber suit for you. It makes you faster, take more, quicker with less damage, and then blah, blah, blah. And then they kind of like show the suit from the side, and then it cuts off, and then Dick's like, you've outdone yourself. Now, here's the thing. I love that scene. As much as I loved that scene, I thought it was hilarious. I wish they didn't put it in the episode, because... the whole thing with the build, because Dick Grayson Nightwing is my favorite DC character of all time. All time. Number one. Every single DC character, Nightwing, Dick Grayson, number one. And although we all know he's going to be Nightwing in the next episode, I wish I didn't see, I would have, when he broke out of the prison, I would have preferred he just didn't show up at all this entire episode. We didn't see him at all for this entire episode. And then he shows up in the season finale with the Nightwing costume. But with that being said, the scene was still funny, and I enjoyed it. It was quick. It wasn't like he was spread out through the entire episode. So as long as it was quick, like I said, I'm cool with that. But again, I wish they just didn't have it in at all. So this episode actually turned into a Rose backstory, which was kind of cool. It shows Rose at home. And then, she's with her mom. I told everybody that Rose and Jericho didn't have the same mama, but y'all ain't believing. So Rose ends up she's with her mom. She's like, tell me about my dad. And then she's like, your dad was a bastard. I'm like, why? Because you were a whore. She gives him the scoop. She finds out where her dad is. She goes and visits Slade. Slade was a total ass. He didn't want to see her. And then she basically shot him in the hand, because earlier in the episode, Rose got hit by a car, and then she got up, her bones went back into place, and then she just walked away, proving that she can't be injured. So she finds her dad. She's just like, she shoots herself in the hand, and then her hand heals itself. And then Slade's like, oh, you're just like me. But he was just like, go home and never return. So she gets mad and she goes home. Then when she's at home, she's getting ready to go to prom. The limo pulls up. She gets in the limo, and then Slade's in the limo. And he's like, yo, my bad. I treated you like shit. I shouldn't have did that, but I need your help. Now, this takes place right after Jericho got killed. And so there's a similar... Jericho and Rose are close in age. You know, because again, they got two moms. Slade admitted he cheated on his wife. So, both of them are very close in age. Like Rose was like 17 if she was going. She's like 17 if she was going to prom. She's probably 18 now. Jericho had to be maybe like 21, like 21, 22. So they're not that far apart. So Slade's just like, listen, I'm your daddy. I apologize. Come live with me. Fuck this life and let's do this shit. So Rose is like, okay, fine. I'm gonna live with my daddy. You know, so she goes to live with him. He trains her, teaches her how to fight, teaches her how to kill, teaches her with the sword. She puts the Rose costume on, which was very cool. And then after she puts the Rose costume on, you know, Slade tells her, he's like, listen, here's a credit card with some money. Our mission is, she was just like, is there a mission or is it just like random fuckery? He was like, no, there is a mission. She was like, you know, the Titans killed your brother. Then she was like, I have a brother. And it's like, all right, first of all, you didn't know you had a brother. And then you made this whole big thing out of it when you were in the tower when you saw the records. How you know your brother even liked records? You didn't know your brother. So anyway, so she's just like, well, I have a brother, and then he's just like, yes, and the Titans killed him. You know, so they waged all out war. You know, and then she told Jason, she was just like, yeah, she was like, I broke Dr. Light out of prison. The whole thing about me getting beat up and getting my eye cut out. Slade cut her eye out on purpose because he knew that would get Dick to feel sorry for her and want to take her in, especially when he finds out that she has powers. So that was all part of the setup. She was, you know, she told Jason, she was like, listen, like, you know, I set the whole thing. She's like, the whole thing was a setup. But then she was like, once I got to know you, you know, she was like, I didn't want to do it anymore. And then Jason, and I'm like, first of all, you see how fine that woman is? Jason's just like, no, man, you hurt my feelings, man. I told you my secrets, man. I'm just like, oh, God. I'm just like, bro, like, really? Like, you worse than the black dude that almost banged Corey, like, 2 episodes back? Like, come on, man. And then Donna ends up calling Jason, and then she's like, then Rose is like, oh, if my father knows that the Titans are getting back together, he'll kill them. He's like, fuck the Titans, man, and fuck you, man. I'm out of here, man. I'm just like, Jason let me down. Jason was cool in, like, season 1. What happened? Like, oh, man. Like, what a bitch. So Jason leaves. He's just like, I'm out of here, man. And then Rose ends up, and then Slade calls Rose, and then he's just like, listen, we're headed back to San Francisco. Let's get the team back together. We're going to kill the Titans. So we'll see what side of the spectrum Rose falls on. Is she going to be Team Titans or is she going to be Team Slade? Especially now that, that Jason walked out on her. So, very interesting. We shall see. And then in the end, so now Dick's putting his new suit on. Don and Donna, I guess they're headed back to the tower to compare notes so they can make a play to go after Gar and Superboy. Corey and what's the girl name? Rachel. Corey and Rachel, they're headed back to the tower. And, Rose is headed back to San Francisco, and Lord knows what Jason's doing. So, and then it ends with the Black Mercy. Because when Mercy found out that the dude on her team, like when she found out that Don and Donna had rolled up on that dude, she was like, yo, let's just move up the times table. And her whole thing was to let Beast Boy loose at a public park. And then it ends with him being in the back of a truck. She plays the music. Gar's eyes light up. He's right in front of the park, and they're about to let the tiger loose, and then the episode ends. So that's it. Next episode is called Nightwing. So that's all I care about right now. So screw these predictions. I don't want to have any predictions. I don't want to know what's going to happen. I just want to watch this episode and be amazed and watch the greatest DC character of all time. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. Leave a comment, like, and or subscribe. And until the Titans season finale, we've reached the end. I'm out this bitch.